Hello, I'm Jez Smith, and welcome to idea number 15 from the book Humans Are Not Resources, 50 Great Ideas for Managing a Modern Lean Agile Workforce. This idea is all about creating genuine Lean Agile job descriptions, because this is a really common issue I see in many kind of lean transformations, many agile transformations, and it's a problem that comes up quite early on and people don't really know how to deal with, in my experience. Or if they do notice it's a problem, they get a little bit stuck and they end up in a bit of a fudge that actually makes things worse than they were beforehand. And the problem comes down to this fact, that if you're following an agile framework like Scrum or SAFe or large-scale Scrum, less, disciplined agile, whatever it may be, many of these frameworks have new roles in them. Scrum Master, Release Train Engineer, Product Owner, that kind of thing. And these new roles are fundamentally different from the roles organisations currently have. And of course they would be, because if you could if you could work in a new way with exactly the same roles and exactly the same job titles and so forth, you'd probably be working in that way already. The point of a transformation is that things change. And one of the things very often that changes is the roles and the types of work and the behaviours that people exhibit in work within the workplace, basically. So how do you deal with this issue? How do you deal with the fact that you have new job titles, new role descriptions, that kind of thing? Many people, in my experience, just try and fudge the issue. They look at what they have already in the organisation and they try and do a match between what they have already and what new roles the framework has created for them. So they look at the project managers and they say, these sorts of project managers seem to be quite interested in the types of work that's getting delivered. Let's call them the product owner. And these sorts of project managers seem to enjoy working with people, facilitating them, keeping the work moving. Let's call them a scrum master. And suddenly everyone's got a new job title. They don't really understand why they've got this new job title. And honestly, their job description hasn't changed. The work they do on a day-to-day basis hasn't changed, and things carry on pretty much as they were. So from a helicopter view from the leadership in the organisation, it looks great. They can set checklists of, does every team have a scrum master? Does every team have a product owner? And you can say, yes, every team has a scrum master and product owner. They're not doing any of the work of a scrum master or product owner. They don't even know what those roles actually would involve. But we've renamed them scrum master and product owner. Or we've said this project manager is the product owner and this project manager is the scrum master. But in the job system, in the job bank, they're still basically a project manager or a program manager. Nothing has really changed. And this is a real problem, because what you find is that either the people are sort of told they have new job titles and they don't understand what they are, and pretty much your transformation dies at that point. People go, well, if you need to change my job title just so I can keep my job, fine. Call me whatever you want, don't really care. I'm going to carry on what I'm doing. And the transformation just dies at that point. Even if they do try and behave in these new ways, they've learned a bit about what a product owner is, they've learned a bit about what a scrum master is. Under pressure, especially around their annual performance review, what does their behaviour do? How do they behave? Because they've been told what a scrum master does, but their job description still says they have to do these things. They're accountable for delivery, they're there to drive the teams, they're there to make sure things are delivered on time and on budget and so forth. All of these sort of anti-patterns, all of these problems for a lean agile transformation are still there in their job description. And under pressure, who do they serve? This new sort of interesting way of working they went on a 2-day training course for, or their legal job description that prescribes what they should and shouldn't do in the workplace. Of course they're going to follow their job description. So even if you think you've got somewhere by training up your project managers to be scrum masters, if their job description still says project manager, they're fundamentally not really going to change. And this creates a wider problem as well, that it sends a message to the wider organisation that this lean agile transformation isn't really a thing. All we're really doing is rebadging people, and we're still going to have the same processes, procedures, behaviours, accountabilities, responsibilities. All of that stuff doesn't change. So I really think this is a problem you have to tackle. It's a problem you have to tackle head on. If you're going to have new roles, you have to have new roles and have new job descriptions for them. Otherwise, anti-patterns, problems that push you away from lean and agile become the official policy. You can accidentally cement these in. And you can also see this happen when organisations do try and create new roles, but they don't understand what the new roles are. I have seen some organisations over the years say, you know, we need a Scrum Master job description. Fantastic. You know, we're making a change. We're going to have new titles, new job descriptions. They're going to be new roles that people are going to be hired into specifically to be Scrum Masters. But then the people writing the job descriptions don't really understand what a Scrum Master is. So you end up with all sorts of old school project management responsibilities written into this new Scrum Master job description, and it just becomes even more chaotic. At least in the previous example, the project managers may have been called Scrum Masters, but at least they had a stable, coherent job description for project management. Now they have this weird, horrible mishmash of Scrum and project management and misunderstanding and Agile and stuff that just, it would have been better not to have made the change in the first place than make the change to some sort of weird hybrid chimera mess of a job description and so forth. And often the problem with these as well is that changing the job descriptions is incredibly difficult. I think this is one of the reasons that people shy away from this, or it's one of the reasons why people get so far with changing a job description and then suddenly find that actually we need to put some project management stuff back in there as well, because it needs multiple sign-offs, it butts up against lots of other parts of the organisation that no one's really thought to tackle yet in terms of the Lean Agile transformation. You especially see this in regulated industries, where the regulator says, we need to know you've got someone accountable for this particular regulation. You know, as part of meeting your regulation, you have to designate someone as accountable for this. So you end up putting in someone's job description, they are accountable for this thing. But then the problem comes that Lean and Agile very often are about more kind of collective accountability. We work as a team, we optimize the whole, we're one single system that optimizes as one single system rather than individuals within the system. So if you're saying that person is individually accountable, very often you're moving away again from a genuine Lean Agile transformation. So this is a really, really challenging area. You get people trying to rewrite job descriptions who don't understand them or don't understand what they're trying to change towards with Scrum or Safe or Agile or Lean or whatever it may be. You get regulations putting anti-patterns back in. You get people who just want to rebadge things and carry on as they always have because it's in their interests for the world not to change. It becomes a real mess and becomes a huge challenge to your genuine Lean Agile transformation. So what I'd like to propose you try, the experiment. Every idea in this book has an experiment. The experiment for this one is not to shy away from this. First of all, engage people who know what they're talking about. Find someone who understands Lean, understands Agile, and can genuinely say, if you're doing this role properly, these are the things you would expect that role to be doing, and these are things you would not expect that role to be doing. And obviously don't write into the job description what you don't do, but be very conscious that there are things that might creep back into the job description that you very clearly don't want to creep back in. This is our not happening list. We put this over there and we keep it away from the job description. If we still need project managers to do old school project management stuff in our regulated industry, fine, have project managers. You know, no one dies if you do, but don't try and merge the two roles together in this kind of hybrid mess. So engage with this issue, engage with people who know what they're talking about, and then start reviewing your job descriptions. You don't have to go in head first and actually say, we're changing every single job description. That's hugely unsettling, hugely difficult to do, a really costly process potentially, but at least do a desk-based exercise with a bunch of interested people to pull out all your current job descriptions and say, you know, why don't we pull these together? Why don't we look at what we need to be doing to make these role descriptions actually coherent and actually work? Run through that in a few iterations, get them into a really good place, and then take the decision, do we need to move this on? Do we need to move this on to the next stage, where we're actually going to start changing the job descriptions with what we've created? But get to your MVP, get to your minimum viable product, pick a couple of roles, try and write a really great job description for them in your context, see if they work, and if that works, do it some more. If it doesn't work, stop, change direction. That's fundamentally the Lean and Agile approach to doing this. It's quite a simple thing in a way. But yes, this I think is an issue that many organisations wrestle with, not many organisations face head on. So that would be my recommendation to you. Don't shy away from it, get stuck in, see if you can change it, because there are potentially huge benefits to your Lean Agile transformation in aligning your job descriptions with what you're actually trying to achieve. Now, I hope you enjoyed that idea. If you did, please leave a like on this video. That would be lovely. I'd also love to hear your feedback and comments. Would this idea work in your context? Do you have any builds on it? That would be really, really interesting. So feel free to leave a comment down below. And if you really enjoyed it, feel free to subscribe to this channel. There are plenty more videos like this.